What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Roots of Success podcast. I am your host, Nate the Great, coming at you. And today we have a very special guest. I'm super close with him and very, very close with his family, to say the least. Travis Wolfe Jr., how you doing, brother?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm super glad that we were able to carve out some time to make this happen. I know you're super busy,
Yeah, for sure.
on set and doing everything that you do. So yeah, man, kind of walk everybody through, for the audience that might not know who you are. I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't seen you on TV or something already, right? But kind of walk them through what it is that you do currently, and then basically, a little bit about your story and how you got to where you're at today, man.
Well, currently I am on a TV show for CBS called Bob Hearts Abishola. A little bit about how I grew up. I was born in Philadelphia, raised there. I recently moved out here after living in Philadelphia for 11 years. Back in Philadelphia, I was, the average kid. Went to school, played video games, repeated homework, all that kind of stuff. But one day while sitting on my couch in Philadelphia, listening to my mom, my dad, and my sister having a conversation about my sister wanting to start acting, and I love to try new things. Anything new, I love to try it. So, I told my parents that I also want to try it, and they took me to an agent. I did a little monologue for her. She loved it, and ever since then, I've just been going hard in acting.
And that's incredible. And how old are you right now?
I'm 13 years old.
13.
I've been doing it since I was 7, going on 8.
Holy smokes! So is it always like a passion that you've had for did you ever, were you young and you're just like, I'm gonna do it, I want to do it like this, or I want to do it like that, or it just kind of came about?
It just kind of came about because when I first started, I didn't know that this is what I wanted to do. I just thought it was something I saw kids do on TV. I was like, it could be fun, so let me just try it. And then, as I started to book jobs, audition, I started to feel like this feeling I never felt before. As I kept going, I started to realize, like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, this is my passion.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm curious, what were some of your hobbies growing up? Because I feel like, I don't know, I think it's kind of a persona where everybody looks at, the millennials, or, forget the Generation Z or something, but I feel like they look at them as just tech nerds, or they're always in their phone or anything. Because you're a sharp dude for being 13. I mean,
thank you.
the things that you say and that you do, and the mentality that you have and things, it's incredible. Because me growing up in Pennsylvania as well, I can relate to this. I didn't really necessarily relate with a lot of people. I was reading a bunch of like personal development books, a lot of books about business and success whenever I was in high school. And personally, Travis, I got criticized so much whenever I was in school. And there was moments where I had the whole high school soccer team like kind of against me because they just didn't like my messages, because they thought that was like the okay thing to do, So my habits and hobbies were like reading books and things. So I'm kind of curious to find out what some of your hobbies were, just growing up and really just developing the mentality that you have. Because I mean, we're out here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, and I mean, this isn't the most idealistic place for somebody that's 13 to really just, necessarily be and continue to have that strong mentality,
Well, some of my hobbies growing up, I just like to hang out with friends, at school, because of my surroundings, I wasn't really able to go outside that much. So, I was always around my dad and my family. So I used to just go in my room, play video games. As my dad started to, get into the whole speaking thing, I started to listen to him, and everything he said, I just absorbed. It just kept listening. As that went on, I started to say the things he was saying, and I started to understand them, and that helped me in my acting career. And I didn't really get to do much. Sorry, can I start that over? I just went completely off track.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Some of my hobbies growing up were just playing sports, hanging out with friends, playing video games. I didn't really get to play many sports growing up because of my surroundings. Wasn't really able to go outside. My parents, they're a little scared I'd get mixed up with the wrong people. So, I was a homebody, usually just a lot of video games, hanging out with my family. We used to have Sunday family game night,
Oh, yeah, I know what you
but
mean.
that's really about it. I didn't really do too much.
Were you like a competitor
Oh yeah,
Like very
I've always been
competitive?
competitive. You know,
Yeah.
I get that from my dad.
Wow.
Everything I do, I have to win. I have to. If I don't, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be a good sport about it, shake hands. But in my mind, I'm furious that I didn't win because I know I could be so much better.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. If I lost a board game, I would literally just flip the whole board game like in front of my dad. Man, he used to get so mad at
I
me.
know I did that a couple times growing up.
Right. I feel like it's so like kind of crucial though, having that competitiveness. But like you said, being a good sport about it, because
Mm,
there's a lot of people they're competitive, but they're sore losers.
yeah.
And if you're a sore loser, I mean, I feel like we've all kind of been like a sore loser to an extent, but it's like when you can overcome that kind of hurdle or that obstacle, I feel like that's so crucial because
Mhm.
if there's still love at the end of the day, like you might lose, and it's like, hey man, like I'm glad we could still, play this game or we could still do this with this particular sport. Even in life, I mean, it's kind of like holding a grudge in a way. So I'm a firm believer that having that competitive edge for sure is like it's super crucial. Would you say that's like been a key part to helping you get to where you're at is kind of being competitive?
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, out here in LA, especially, it's really, really competitive, and you have to be a good sport about it because you'll lose a lot. You're not going to book every job, and if when you get told no all the time, and you start to let that affect you, then you're going to quit, and then you won't get to where you want to be. So, it's really important to be competitive, but also understand that maybe that job wasn't for you. Maybe the next audition is going to be your big break. So, it is very important to be competitive, but it's very, very important to be able to take criticism and be okay with being told no.
Wow. With you being in the acting industry, there's a lot of, I'm sure, like different auditions that you go to and go through. Um, how important is the mental game? Staying in a mental state where it's like, you go into the room because, thoughts are very powerful.
Very, very powerful.
And if we have one simple thought where it's like it could throw us off, that could impact whether it's a speaking gig or just acting performance. So, do you have anything that you might do to mentally prepare yourself going into a potential, just gig or an audition?
Yeah, I have a little pregame ritual.
I feel you.
Yeah. Sorry, what's your question? The very first part.
Yeah. So basically, like, what's your routine going into like an audition?
Well, I have like a little pregame ritual. I
Yeah.
like to, really get into a positive mental state. I listen to my favorite songs, get me hype, tell myself, like you got this. You're going to walk in there, you're going to kill it. Because if you have negative thoughts flowing through your mind, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do good. I'm not good enough for this. This isn't gonna work out for me. It's not going to
Yeah.
because you're automatically already accepting that you're not gonna do your best work. So if you think you're not gonna do your best work, you're probably not gonna perform the way you want to. So I like to pump myself up. Tell myself like I'm the greatest. I'm gonna kill this. Listen to my favorite music, get the blood flowing. Get a little hype. Usually I go in there, I do my thing. I might get told no, I might get told
Yeah.
yes, but either way, I know I did my best work and I'm content with that.
Man, I love that. That's like, yeah, you got that confidence. I like that because, again, a lot of people they tend to let these different outside factors just impact their performance,
Mhm.
even if it's just something small, like man, bro, you took my. I was gonna sit there, bro. Come on, how you gonna take my spot? And then somebody might get all kind of flustered over something simple like that, and I agree with that so much, Travis, because it's like if you let the small things impact your mood or your performance, it can truly impact what it is that you're doing significantly.
For sure.
I mean, there's been moments in my life where, hey, I tend to I'm a human. We're all human at the end of the day. We still have some things that can impact our moods, but having that thing that kind of gets us in that zone, right? Like a lot of people like to meditate, they like to work out, they like to read books, they like to kind of just have something within their day that they can really get in that zone and just activate them, you know? Do you read much?
And not too much. I'm not
Okay.
really the reader, but at school we do read some books. I don't really go to school. I have a teacher that comes here,
Hey,
and
I feel you.
he gives me a couple books to read over the weekend.
Yeah,
But I've never been really the reader type.
I
I'm
got
more of
you.
the listener or watcher kind
Mm,
of guy.
I like that. So you kind of like you see what's going on, and then you see about like how you can pick certain things out from it to learn or something like that, right?
Exactly.
I got
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Who's who's one of your like most inspirational, I guess you can say, music artists that you really like to look up to?
Music artist.
Yeah.
Well, Roddy Ricch, he's one of the hottest
Okay.
people
Yeah.
out here right now. I've been bumping his music a lot lately.
Yeah.
Actually before I came in here,
You were listening.
I was listening to his music. Getting me in that, like I said, getting me in that mood. Getting me to that flow. His song "The Box," #1 on the charts right now. It's going crazy. He's really all I'm listening to right now. I really like his new album. Please excuse me for being antisocial. It's really good.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. I've always been a big Michael Jackson fan.
Oh, Mike, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love that dude.
Hip hop.
I interviewed his nephew TJ a little while back, and such an incredible family, just the Jacksons and just what they stand for. And I know today just so happens to be Martin Luther King Day as well. The 20th, so it's a very special day for me. It touches my heart so significantly, and I feel like we all need moments in our lives where we really just have to kind of come back. And it's like, yeah, it's a holiday, and you have all these different holidays and throughout the year, but it's like if everybody could kind of treat a day where they give something to somebody of value, or they just treat each other how everybody should be treated. Like, I'm a firm believer that that's so powerful in our daily lives. The power of giving, the power of tithing. Really just doing something for someone just because, like, it's an incredible thing to do. And again, just with your age and seeing who you are and what you've done up to this point, like, it's inspiring, because I feel like there's a lot of kids or young adults that are out there. They don't feel like, hey, I am maybe too young. I don't feel like just because I'm in the room with someone that is of status. I've really been hitting on this a lot lately, Travis. I feel like whenever people are in the room with somebody of status, they feel like they might not be worthy enough. Yeah. And they can kind of let that get to their head. But with you, I mean, you've been in the room with incredible people, incredible producers, directors, actors within the game, actresses. So it's like, I'm sure you've had moments maybe at first where you're like, man, this is neat, but now it's with your confidence and everything, you're probably at that point where it's like, yo, I know I should be in this room. Like, I'm meant to be here. Is that kind of...
It is. Like you said, a lot of people might look at it when they're in rooms with people with high status. Like they're not worthy or they're not good enough to be in that room. But when I'm in the room with people that are they've been in the game a little bit longer, are a little bit more known, I kind of look at it as like, wow, that's gonna be me. Like, I'm gonna be there. I need to soak in everything that's happening in this room and take their message and apply it to myself. Because if I'm here, that means I'm here for a reason. I've obviously done something right to be where I am right now. So I just look at them as, someone I look up to, someone I should, follow, someone I should really listen to, because, they could teach me how to get to their level. Like, I want to be the person with the high status and everyone's, like, wow, it's really cool to be in this guy's presence, Yeah. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's talk about mentors a little bit. Like, I know you mentioned, like, your dad's been a big part, to helping you in terms of the mentality. Like, what were some of the things that he, or even, just your family, they've kind of instilled within you to really help develop you at such a young age? Because I find it super intriguing. Like, my family, they're always supportive of me. They always have been, and things, but they never necessarily instilled like the mentality principles. I feel like I've kind of picked that up through sports, and then just by tuning into other like channels and like YouTube and finding some motivational speakers. Like, that's how I channeled mine. So I guess what were some of the things that you really picked up on from like just your family that really helped you transform your mentality? Does that make sense?
Yeah. They teach me a lot of things. I feel like one of the most important things are how to speak and interact with other people, because it's very like just small things like shaking taking someone's hand and gripping their hand tightly, or making eye contact when you speak to them. Just tiny things like that are just so important, and it's like your first impression, like that's super super important. Even if you meet somebody for the first time and you say something wrong, that's going to stick with them forever. Even if the second time you see them, you're super nice, you do everything right, they're still going to remember that. So it's super important, just be yourself and be who you really are every single time. because you don't want to pretend to be someone you're not, because it's really hard to always keep that persona, that fake like what am I trying to say, that fake help me out here, Nate. What am I trying to say?
I know what you
You
mean,
get what I'm trying to say,
yeah.
though. Like being like what people call fake. It's hard to always
I know
always
what you mean.
pretend to be someone you're not. So the most important thing is just be yourself. People, if you're around the right people, they're gonna love you for who you are. You don't gotta pretend to be someone to hang out with certain people, because the people you're meant to be around, you'll attract them by just being yourself.
Right.
So, that's something they've always taught me. That's always stuck with me, and it's probably helped me be so successful thus far.
It's like that fake persona.
Yeah, fake persona. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I know what you mean. Because I mean, that's the thing, and I love how you said, like, you just got to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, that matters. At the end of the day, it's just you.
Literally, like, it doesn't matter if somebody's on the street or if it's somebody that is like super well known and is successful. You don't change that.
You gotta be the same way with everybody.
Literally, I mean, I'm sure you're very similar to this. Whenever I'm around like high caliber people, I shut up. You feel me? Because I'm like, man, you've obviously have done things, you're doing amazing things, and I want to just like absorb that, kind of very similar to you.
That's why you have 2 ears and one mouth, so you can listen more. When you're around people that have that information, you gotta soak that in. You really gotta listen, because if you're always talking, you're not gonna get the information. If you stop someone else from talking that has a message for you, you're not gonna get that message if you're talking. So when you're around those kind of people, it's really important to just listen. Don't speak unless you're spoken to, unless you have something extremely important and something extremely important to add to the conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people. Like I'm around big people very often. Like Chuck Lorre, Mr. Billy Gardell, Mr. Chuck, Mr. Al Gordetsky. Everybody on the set. They've been in the game a lot longer than me. And when I'm around them, I kind of just sit there and just listen, because they have a lot of things to tell me. Like I've learned so much from Mr. Billy, man. Like literally every single time I talk to him, he's just teaching me something else. He's really helped me with our scenes. Between me and him, he always tells me, it's just me and him, just Travis and Mr. Billy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So it really helps me to put what's on the paper on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important just to listen sometimes.
That's deep. And just to kind of give the audience and the listeners perspective, like, what are some of like the shows that those individuals have worked on?
Mr. Billy, very successful actor. He's been on Mike and Molly. He's been on a show called Young Sheldon.
Okay. Yeah.
Also on CBS. Just huge things. I'm not really too familiar with some of the other actors' projects, but I've been watching Mr. Billy since I've lived in Philadelphia, since I was like 9 years old. And just being his presence now, working alongside him, it's just a huge accomplishment. Just makes me smile every time I think about it.
Man, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you like watched him since you were 9 and stuff.
Yeah, my grandmom, she loves him. I used to go over her house all the time, and every time I walked in, she's watching Mike and Molly. It's the craziest thing, to see someone on the screen and you see him in real life. It's like, wow, like, I'm really doing this. Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Man, it's kind of like you manifested that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like you're watching them on the TV, and now you're in their presence and everything, and it's just like, wow. But the fact that it's like, you absorb the information that they talk to you about, like, that's powerful, because they got skin in the game. They got a ton of skin in the game.
A lot of it.
And it's like anything that you can learn from them wisdom-wise. And then same with like the people that are listening. Like if you got somebody that is influential, or maybe you're working a job and, you have like a manager or just a boss, and you're trying to level up in your company, or you're trying to maybe, get more clients within your business. Sometimes, just like Travis said, you got 2 ears and one mouth for a reason.
Yes,
you feel me? So like you got to listen to your clients more. You got to listen to, maybe you're going through some family issues, maybe going through a relationship issue, or something with your homie or your boy or your girl, right? Sometimes you got to like just kind of like know when to shut it off and then just listen. Man, that's really great advice, bro. That's deep.
Yeah, it's also really important to not be afraid to ask questions. Like you said, if you're trying to level up in your company, and you're around, you go to a conference and you're around the CEO, maybe ask him, what did he do to become so successful in the company? Like, who did he hang out with? What did he do on the daily? How did he work towards his high role in the company? Don't be afraid to talk. I mean, you still have a mouth. It's not like you have 2 ears and no mouth.
Right.
I mean, you have a mouth for a reason too. It's just a lot more important to listen. But you can't. They're not gonna be able to tell you things if you don't ask them questions. You know, just when you're in that room, you know, don't be afraid. You know, hey, how can I do this? How can I do this better? Can you tell me something that might help me to be where you're at? You know, I do that all the time when I'm on set. You know, with my TV mom, Miss Falake.
Okay, yep.
Yep. I always ask her questions, you know, especially because she's from Nigeria.
Okay.
So she has all the ins and outs, you know, the information. So when I don't know how to say a word or don't know how to, you know, properly act out something from the Nigerian culture, you know, I ask her, Miss Falake, how can I do this? And she, you know, I use my 2 ears, I listen, and I do it, and I kill it. You know, so it's really important, you know, ask some questions once in a while.
I like that. Because there's a difference between, like, you know, especially somebody that's like of influential and they've done some amazing things, asking a question that they actually want to respond to, compared to asking them a question where it's like
you gotta be impeccable with your word. Yeah.
4 agreements. That's a deep one book. Dang, bro. Yeah. So I love the mentors and how that's been like significant in your life and just asking the right questions as well. That's powerful. So you're 13 again.
Yes, sir.
I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Or where do you want to be in 5 years? So you'll be what? That'll be 18 years old.
You know, like I said, this is my passion. It's really what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the next 5 years, you know, I'll probably still be on Bob Hearts. You know, hopefully we'll have a nice longevity. You know, we'll still be on Warner Brothers, but I hope to, you know, start doing stand-up comedy.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that's something I've been
see that. Yeah.
something I've been wanting to do for a little bit. And now, you know, Mr. Billy, I think he's hilarious. You know, he doesn't just act on TV. You know, you go to one of his shows, you'll be cracking up forever. It's the funniest stuff there. You know, I want to be doing stand-up, you know, still be on Bob Hearts, you know, doing maybe movies, you know, comedic movies, you know, Kevin Hart, another guy I look up to that man so much. You know, I learned so much from him. I still think, in my opinion, he's the funniest man in the world. I mean, that guy. Just if you just listen to the conversation he has, it's just so funny. Like the things he says, like he doesn't care who's around. He just says what's on his mind. It's the funniest thing. You know, maybe stand up movies. You know, still be on Bob Hearts. You know, we'll see what the next 5 years brings. Yeah. You know, I kind of just, you know, want to focus on, you know, doing my best right now in Bob Hearts. You know, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's incredible. And then I guess from a business sense, I mean, I'm sure you eventually probably thought about doing some different business ventures too along the ways.
I'm gonna start my own foundation pretty soon. You know, I'm working on something right now called the Pillow Pack Project. You know, we're gonna get that started. We're working on making a prototype right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit. You know, it's something about it is, you know, we're making pillows for the homeless.
Really?
You know, because, you know, I have a huge heart. Like, I can't walk past a homeless person without giving them something, you know. Even if it's just some change that I have in my pocket or some food I have for them, you know, I just can't walk past them. And my mom's like, if you have a problem with it, you should do something about it. So I was like, wow, you're right. I gotta do something. Like so she helped me come up with this concept to create these pillows for the homeless that will, you know, walk around, give it to them. You know, we might host some events where if you buy one, we'll give one to the homeless, or the money we help raise that'll go into making more pillows. Maybe we'll expand something else, you know. But it's a little something I'm working on right now as far as the business goes.
Man, I love that. My gosh, man, yeah. Especially like just being out here too, and then having that where people can just. That's such an amazing cause, you know.
Thank you.
Because I mean, I have a big heart, of course, for like the homeless as well. And I think it was like a couple months ago. But yeah, you know, I told him, I was like, man, I don't got anything. Like, I really don't. And then I asked him, I was like, what else do you need? He was like, man, you got a blanket? I said, yeah, man, I got a blanket. It's in the back of my car. He's like, man, I could really use a blanket. I said, okay, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. So I went to my trunk, got the blanket, and then I gave it to him. He was like, man, thank you so much. And I realized how much that blanket meant more compared to money. I really didn't have cash on me, for real. I didn't. But just something that could add, he's like, man, this will help me sleep better at night, you know? So hearing your, like the pillows, I'm like, man, bro, because you know people be sleeping on like rocks or just the concrete, you know, and it's Like that's a deep cause.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I'm fortunate enough to, not be in the situation that some people are in right now. I have a nice, comfortable pillow that I lay on every night, comfy bed, big blanket, nice warm quill I lay with. So, with you being fortunate enough to have all those things, you need to help the people that are less fortunate, that, don't have things that you have. It's important to give back. I mean, God said it's important to give back 10% of, the money you make every month. My dad makes that a point,
Yeah.
To, give back. So it's just really important to help other people in need, man, because, if you're blessed enough, some people might not have that blessing.
Yeah.
So it's just really important. It's really dear to my heart, help people and make a change, get other people, do what I'm doing as far as helping other people.
Wow. Absolutely. Giving to others, counting your blessings, being grateful. That's deep, bro. Travis, I want to be respectful of your time. Where can the audience, the viewers, the listeners, where can they find you on, social media and things like that?
They can find me on all platforms.
Okay.
Travis Wolfe Jr. That's Wolf with an E. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just really simple. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
You on TikTok yet?
Nah.
Okay.
I might expand to YouTube soon. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Might start doing little vlogs. Me going to set every day. Going to different events, different interviews.
That'd
might
be great.
I might be working on. But,
okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
Okay. No, I'll attach all of that in the description below for you guys to check Travis out. And then, Travis, just before we kind of end things here, I just want to let you know, like, I got a lot of respect for who you are as a person. Again, like just with what it is that you do. I know it's not easy. It really isn't. Like you got to have the mentality, you got to have the mindset, and just seeing your confidence and being, because I've been around you, a decent amount of times, and I'm 23, and being 10 years apart, I just look at the things that you do, and it's very inspirational, not just to me, but to many other people. And just with the confidence that you walk around with, like on set, like I know for a fact there's people that look at you and they're just like, wow. And I'm sure you hear it a lot, like, man, you're doing incredible things for your age and all that, but like on like a bro to bro and like a deep, deep level, like it's inspiring, bro, for real. And I respect it.
You inspire me too, see you out here doing your podcast,
Thank you, man.
It's making me want to start doing something too, because it's important. You're actually taking the action, taking the steps, actually get your message out there, for people that actually have something to say. It's kind of selfish of them not to, do this, actually give people information because they want to hear it. People want to better themselves, but if they don't know where to look, they'll never hear it. So, you're inspiring me to, start doing my own thing, start speaking now, getting my message out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, guys, check out Travis Wolfe Jr.
Yes,
I'll attach all the links again. And, man, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Glad we could do this. Yeah.
So am I.
That's good.